They deserve our round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed, I was just admiring the skill. It reminded me of my youthful days. I used to do this at a greater stage. We welcome you to this event. We want to sincerely apologize for starting this late. This was due to circumstances beyond our control. But then everything is set and we are good to go. So just in case there is somebody who is not familiar with the geographical setup of this place, our conveniences are on the other side. You should be able to see where it is written male, or the males immediately after our kitchen here, or the males, you would go in there. Where it is written ladies, it's all the ladies to go there. For ladies, just in case you get lost, you can always come back to me. I will escort you at no cost. All right, so we are just waiting for our guest of honor and the rest of the VIP to quickly set in, and then we will be able to start the program. So as they are coming, so please shall we be upstanding as the VIP is coming through. The guest of honor and the rest of the team are here. And immediately they settle, we will be singing the national anthem. And after the national anthem, I will ask Elder Ngandu to give us an opening prayer. All right, shall we together sing the national anthem? We'll sing all the verses quickly. Stand and sing of Zambia, proud and free, land of work and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for the right. We've won freedom's fight. Oh, one strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by God's good hand. Let us, all her people, join as one, brothers under this sun. Oh, one land and one nation is our cry. Dignity and peace neath Zambia's sky, like a noble eagle in its flight. Zambia, praise to thee. Oh, one strong and free. Praise be to God. Bless our great nation. Free men we stand under the flag of our land, Zambia. Praise, oh, one strong and free. Eldangandu.
Shall we pray? We want to thank you, our eternal King of glory, the Lord from whom all blessings flow. We want to thank you, O Lord, for life today and for what we are gathered for this morning. Our Heavenly Father, we want to pray in a special way that you may grant wisdom to all our leaders. Continue them, giving them good health. As we gather today, our Heavenly Father, our prayer is that, O Lord, may you just go before us. The work we are gathered here, our Heavenly Father, it is the work that you identify yourself with, that of looking after the vulnerable in community and in our societies. Our prayer is that, O Lord, this work, you may bless it. Bless even our fellow Zambians who are struggling out there, those that have been impacted by this drought. We know that, O Lord, you are the one who can ably take care of them. Whatever we are doing, our Heavenly Father, without your blessing, it is in vain. It is for this reason that we call upon you, that, O Lord, you may bless the labors of our hands. May your name, O Lord, be exalted and may it be praised forever and ever, because you are the Creator. It is in Jesus' name that we pray now, that you may be with us. Amen.
Thank you so much. We may take our seats. One thing I love about Elder Ngandu is that he prays the same way I write the prayers for him. So thank you so much, Elder. Guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of Finance, Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwani, the African Risk Capacity Group Board Chair, and your entourage from African Risk Capacity, the Netherlands Ambassador to Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Malawi, the Head of Sector, EU Delegation to Zambia, the World Food Programme, WFP Country Director for Zambia, the Permanent Secretary is present here today, the United Nations Resident Coordinator, the African Union Commissioner, representative from Southern Africa Development Community, representative from the African Development Bank, senior government officials present here, representatives of organizations and all the media houses present here, allow me to welcome you to the African Risk Capacity 2023-2024 Drought Insurance Payout Ceremony here at Mulungushi International Conference Center. I am privileged to be your director of program. My name is Bright Sinkos. Now, we only have but limited time because we started a bit too late. And so some of the things we've already seen what our colleagues, the entertainers, could do. And so allow me straight away to invite the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit National Coordinator, Dr. Gabriel Poleni, to come and give us some welcoming remarks to this event.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning, Honorable Dr. Stimbeko Msokotwani, allow me to write in the interest of time on the protocols already established and wish everyone a very special warm welcome to the Republic of Zambia, Lusaka in particular, on this occasion in which the government is going to receive a symbolic handover of a check based on the drought insurance. As many of you colleagues are aware, Zambia has been inundated by a devastating drought which has affected 84 districts across the country, and it was declared on the 29th of February 2024 as a national disaster and emergency, the worst that the country has experienced in over 4 decades. However, as part of the broader anticipatory action that the Disaster Management Mitigation Unit undertakes, we signed off a drought insurance premium in anticipation for vagaries of the weather, and that's why we're here today to receive the payout. So this payout marks indeed not just any other event, but a proactive approach that the government has taken in order to address the climate risks that the country continues to face. In the context of the current drought disaster, about 6.6 million Zambians will have to be fed for over a period of over a year. So this payout is really coming at a time that the country really requires it. So without further ado, allow me once again to ensure that you're comfortably seated where you are and to welcome you to this special occasion as we carry on with the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That is the DMMU National Coordinator, Dr. Brian Poleni. Dr. Poleni, you just didn't realize that I stood right behind you as an official bodyguard. Since it's a payout day today, I'll be looking forward to my pay. All right? So that we all get to understand what is happening here, allow me to invite the team led by Miss Michelle Diana Karambiri and Mr. Matthews Musukwa to just give us some selected advocacy videos of corporate videos for 2021-2022, the payout arrangement for Africa Risk Capacity. Please, let's take a look at what is on the screen.
Africa, the world's second largest and most diverse continent, boasts a varied landscape. High Atlas Mountains in the north, the formidable Sahara, Sahel Plains, lush forests in West and Central Africa, rolling savanna in Eastern Africa, and fertile lands in Southern Africa. Home to 1.2 billion people, each country has a unique history, culture, and mode of subsistence. It is also host to the world's largest diversity of fauna and flora, surrounded by seas and oceans, teeming with diverse sea life. Once an ecological and environmental jewel, Africa faces its severest existential threat due to climate change wreaking havoc on lives and livelihoods. Despite contributing the least to this global disaster, the continent bears its full brunt. Disrupted rainy seasons, failed crops, and devastating cyclones and floods have led to setbacks in development gains, pushing more people into chronic destitution and food insecurity. Amidst these challenges, the African risk capacity remains optimistic. While Africa alone cannot undo global warming, it can mitigate the effects of climate change, build resilience, and improve communities' adaptive capacities. Despite international pledges, lasting solutions must come from Africa itself. In 2012, the African Union formed the African Risk Capacity Agency with a mandate to help governments plan, prepare, and respond to climate threats and disease outbreaks. The ARC Insurance Company Limited, the financial affiliate, handles risk pooling and transfer for parametric weather insurance. The group offers a compelling value proposition that brings together 4 critical elements of preparedness for member states: capacity building, early warning, risk pooling, and risk transfer, with the aim to strengthen disaster risk management systems. Africa's agriculture heavily relies on natural climate patterns. The African Risk Capacity addresses the disruptions caused by climate change by pooling disaster risks across countries and creating a collective risk profile for the entire group, making it more manageable. This unique approach efficiently manages climate risks and makes disaster insurance more accessible. Since being founded in 2012, the African Risk Capacity works with member states to safeguard lives and livelihoods, contribute to a more proactive Africa, and shape a better future. While disasters do not discriminate, they disproportionately affect certain demographics, particularly women and children. At ARC, we prioritise gender mainstreaming in all our programmes towards driving gender equality and changing discriminatory social norms in member states. This is just the beginning. ARC collaborates with continental authorities and stakeholders in the climate space to echo the African voice on global platforms and support Africa's climate action. As we strive to increase our reach and impact on the continent, join us in our mission to find African solutions to African problems towards protecting Africa and safeguarding its future. ARC, Sovereign Disaster Risk Solutions.
Is a bit shorter than they were prepared. You pick the main points and ensure that the message is delivered so that we are out of this place at the right time. So allow me to invite to the podium now the African Development Bank Chief Country Economist, Mr. Nathaniel Eluch Agola, I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly, to come and give us the speech for this morning. A big hand, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, all. In the interest of time, thank you very much. Okay, so in the interest of time, I'm going to ride on the protocols that have been observed already. And I would just want to say that exactly 2 years ago, that was on the 15th of June, 2022, there was a similar event at the same venue where the government of Zambia received a payout check of 5.4 million US dollars, which followed the impact of the drought in the 2021-2022 rainfall season. And we do take note that the drought and the climate change events, they are not a coincidence, but they are telling us a very compelling story on how there's an increased frequency of these events that do adversely affect the development programs of the country. And also we do take note of the perils of the other climate-related events such as the epidemics, pests, and environmental degradation that continue to slow the growth of the country. Well, from the bank, we would like to first commend the government of Zambia for embracing ex-ante climate risk management within its development planning. So the event of today, where the government is receiving a payout of around 10 million US dollars and 3.3 million to the World Food Program as the Replica partner, this would go a long way to provide a timely assistance to the hardworking farmers who could not harvest following the devastating drought. As these events are becoming more frequent and increasing in magnitude, it is important that the pressure on the physical space is minimized. Of course, we do know that with growing global humanitarian issues, innovative climate and disaster risk financing solutions are the best practice and the way to go. So, Your Honor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, well, the bank has mobilized more than 100 million US dollars for ex-ante climate risk financing and has contributed towards safeguarding more than 5 million people on the continent from risks of drought and tropical cyclones through the Africa Disaster Risk Financing Program. That's the so-called ADRIFI, which is actually being implemented right now in 15 African countries. And we would like to thank the donors to the ADRIFI, multi-donor trust funds, such as the British government, the government of Switzerland, the United States State Department, the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, Canada, Norway, the Netherlands, for prioritizing the ex-ante climate risk financing in Africa and for saving lives of hardworking farmers in the continent. Well, I would also like to say that within the bank, there are complementary financing windows, and this includes the Climate Action Window and the Transition State Support Facility, which always are open annually for applications. So I would like to encourage the government to utilize these windows as well. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, today's insurance payout is a proof of the viability of disaster risk management mechanism as promoted by ARC or ARC and endorsed by the bank and our donors through ADRIFI. So this innovative approach makes it possible to preserve the Zambia's recent development achievements, and it guarantees that there's fund availability to provide rapid assistance to vulnerable populations. And we would want to also commend the good collaboration between the African Development Bank and the government of Zambia for the implementation of bank-funded projects in Zambia, and particularly in the agriculture sector, as this premium for this season came from an existing project. I would also like to commend the good collaboration with ARC, our partner in the implementation of a DRIFI program. So we would like to therefore thank all the other technical partners who support Zambia in its development agenda and in the nation's disaster risk management. Presence of development partners at this event is an important testimony of the collaboration. And we know that together we can deliver in a much better way. So in conclusion, I would like to wish the government of Zambia success in the implementation of the planned activities so that the affected populations receive assistance on time. The bank stands ready to support you in that regard. Thank you all very much for your attention.
Thank you so much. We will now transition into speeches given by ARC Group donor representatives, and this is the order in which they will follow. We'll start with Mr. Stefano Betti, the Deputy Head of Mission SDC representative. He will be followed by Mr. Bogdan Stefanescu, Head of Sector EU Delegation to Zambia. And then we'll have Miss Margaret Verwijik, the Netherlands Ambassador to Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Malawi, in that order.
Good morning, everybody. Honorable Minister, allow me to serve on the protocol of my predecessors, and I also managed to cut two paragraphs of my speech. It's amazing how they still make sense even if you cut last minute 2 paragraphs. And I'm gonna be short. It's really an honor to stand here before you today, marking this milestone in our united fight against climate change. Switzerland is proud to support the drought insurance program implemented by the African Risk Capacity Group, a central component of our bilateral mission to enhance livelihoods and strengthen resilience against climate shocks in Zambia. Today's event, the payout of a drought insurance check to the government of Zambia, almost 10 million, and to the World Food Programme, almost $3.5 million, highlights the commitment by Switzerland and other developing partners to address climate risk head-on. This program is a good example of the impact of cooperation we strive to achieve with Zambia. The El Niño weather phenomenon serves as a poignant reminder of the climate crisis and how urgent it is to scale up investment in activities that build resilience. Communities must be empowered with climate adaptation skills that will enable them to mitigate, reduce, and absorb the effects of climate shocks. Given Zambia's reliance on rain-fed agriculture, droughts pose a significant risk. However, proactive investment in insurance schemes, social protection, and resilience building are much more cost-effective and beneficial than reactive humanitarian aid. With the current drought in mind, the African Risk Capacity Mechanism equips Zambia with some timely liquidity to respond early to the disaster, contributing to minimize or reduce the need for costlier emergency assistance. Switzerland's contribution of 2.5 million to ARC for drought insurance premium financing and capacity strengthening in Zambia and Zimbabwe aims to further boost preparedness and resilience in this country. In addition, Switzerland is also supporting Zambia's social cash transfer program with close to $2 million to enhance resilience among the most vulnerable in addressing the impacts of drought in a timely, effective, and transparent manner. Today's payout showcases the tangible benefits of the insurance mechanism. Switzerland firmly believes that this kind of support should help integrate disaster risk financing into Zambia's regular government programming, ensuring long-term sustainability. The climate crisis underscores the importance of instruments such as that provided by ARC in building resilience and facilitating recovery efforts. It also emphasizes the value of collaboration between partners here present today to support Zambia's resilience building efforts. On behalf of the Swiss government, let me say congratulations, if we can congratulate in this occasion, to all stakeholders involved in this important event, and reiterate our commitment to work with you moving forward for a continued benefit of Zambia's most vulnerable population. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I will follow the example of my colleagues, and I will write on the protocols established. Ladies and gentlemen, we know all that climate change has been named as one of the global threats of the 21st century. Its negative effects are felt all over the globe, and despite some resistance and even some denial, there is a global consensus that the need for rapid and efficient mitigation and adaptation measures is imperative. Until some years ago, the belief was that some of the countries were more affected than others, like small islands and coastal states, but evidence is now clear, nobody is spared, and there is nowhere we can hide. Every region is confronted with ever more devastating hurricanes, cyclones, tornadoes, extreme temperatures, epidemics, landslides, wildfire, floods, droughts, and the list can continue. This trend tends to be exacerbated by increasing climate variability, bringing disaster risk management and climate change adaptation to the forefront of the regional development agenda. This year has brought severe crisis situation in South Africa and in Indian Ocean, heavily affecting 36.8 million people across the region. This situation led to a humanitarian appeal issued at a regional level and to the state of emergency declaration in Malawi, Namibia, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Among those countries, Zambia has been the most affected, with 9.8 million people in need of assistance. Managing natural disasters is increasingly becoming the everyday job of every government. Countries need to periodically deal with weather-induced disasters, and there are two ways of doing it. Firstly, the disaster response in the short-term is the short-term solution for the immediate relief of affected population and for re-establishing disrupted services. In this situation, international funding and support, as well as capacity to reshuffle national budgets, are key. Secondly, the long-term solution is to consistently build resilience at the level of communities, private sector, ecosystems, infrastructure, and administration, and to increase preparedness at all levels through viable early warning system, emergency contingency planning, and targeted training programs. And while building fiscal resilience, the right insurance solution can be a game changer in the overall response to disasters. The cost of responding to natural disaster is increasing and forces countries to divert long-term development finance into short-term response measures. Ladies and gentlemen, since its establishment, the African Risk Capacity has provided capacity building in disaster contingency planning, early warning risk modeling, and risk transfer to over 2,000 officials from governments and members from the civil society and the private sector. It has also provided drought risk cover worth $1 billion and made payouts of $110 million, which have benefited vulnerable population in disaster-stricken member countries. Today, it is Zambia's turn to benefit from the policies taken by both the government and the WFP on behalf of Zambia under the Replica program, for a total amount of more than 13 million US dollars. We are grateful to ARC, France and Canada, who support the African Risk Capacity Agency of the African Union, believe that African-owned disaster response mechanisms, including insurance solution, is the way forward in building resilience at regional and continental level. The African Risk Capacity Group is relatively a newcomer in the DRR. One of its key tasks during the years to come will be to ensure the financial sustainability of ARC's business model. As partners, we are committed to support the group in this task as part of our pledge made under loss and damages at COP27 and as our duty as partners to the African Union and its members. The EU is committing to supporting partner countries in disaster risk reduction, which may include measures to enable more timely and reliable disaster responses, as well as helping poor and vulnerable people. This is a major challenge that could be tackled, among others, through the use of climate and disaster risk finance and insurance. The dissemination of disaster risk finance and insurance mechanism plays a crucial role to develop not only ex post, but ex ante responses. In our view, insurance schemes should further complement efforts in vulnerable countries and strengthen the local resilience over time. And I would like to stress the importance of the word complement here. These schemes are not enough, and it is crucial that national and local governments, private sector, civil society, local community, and more importantly, households should be empowered to become proactive risk managers. Capacity building and awareness raising are therefore key to the global DRR process. Ladies and gentlemen, to conclude, I would like to thank both ARC and WFP for the efforts at play to support the drought-affected Zambian communities and the government of Zambia, who is presently fighting on many fronts between the cholera epidemic, the drought-induced food insecurity situation, and the debt restructuring process that limits its fiscal space. Allow me to commend the development partners who, alongside the EU, collaborate with and contribute to the ARC Group project for Africa: the Netherlands, France, Switzerland, UK, Germany, US, Canada, and Norway. As we celebrate today's payout, let us recommit ourselves to the work ahead. Let us continue to build partnerships, invest in resilience, and work towards a future where all communities are empowered to withstand the impacts of climate change. Together, we can create a more secure and safe world for generations to come. Thank you.
We will now have Miss Margaret Wejik, the Netherlands ambassador to Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Malawi.
Good morning, a very, very good morning to all of you. Honorable Minister of Finance, and I also wish to recognize colleagues from the government of Zambia, because I represent Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Malawi. But I'm very much with you. I also visited some of our waterworks projects this week. It's really an honor to be here. ARC, WFP, AFDB, they're all wonderful partners of the government of the Netherlands. I visited partners working on water in Zambia, in Ndola. Just like the work being done on improved water management, today's event really relates to climate change in the region. The most pressing risks faced by government, businesses, and citizens, the frequency of natural disasters, unfortunately, will continue to increase. We know that this region will face recurrent and more intense cyclones, floods, and droughts. Now, these risks affect everyone, everywhere in Zambia. and addressing them thus requires diverse actions and approaches. Now in Africa, increasing attention is being paid to adaptive measures, such as climate-smart agriculture and improved catchment management. This is a critical part of the climate adaptation puzzle, because it is a puzzle to all of us. Now, more attention is needed to address both disaster risk preparedness and climate finance gaps. So this payout is extremely important. It's supporting Zambia's drought response. Now, it shows that the work of the Africa Disaster Risk Financing Multi-Donor Trust Fund and ARC is part of the solution. So let's really continue to be part of the solution. The Netherlands is extremely pleased to have recently joined this multi-donor trust fund with a $27 million contribution. We look forward to supporting enhanced capacity building with 11 million and premium subsidies worth 16 million. Now, these funds will enable development of the expertise and processes needed to rapidly finance front-line disaster work, getting money to where it's needed and when it's needed. And we know that given the many, many pressing challenges faced by climate vulnerable groups, such as small-scale farmers, subsidies are essential to support longer-term thinking and prioritization of disaster risk preparedness through insurance. Now, in closing, I wish to express my appreciation for the close collaboration between AFDB, ARC, and WFP in this very important work. I'm delighted that the Netherlands is coming on board to be part of it. Congratulations to the government of Zambia and the partners here present who made this payout possible. It exemplifies the importance of insurance in mitigating climate risk and the power of partnership, working together in addressing global challenges. And finally, a very warm thank you to our host today for squeezing me onto the agenda at the last minute to say these few words and underline the Dutch commitment to climate action worldwide. Now, I wish you all a very good day. Happy weekend, Zikomo. But before I close, I have a small gift for the Honorable Minister. It's a very Dutch gift. Can I walk over? And I would like the Honorable Minister to actually open it. It's a Dutch, very Dutch umbrella, because after drought, we expect a lot of rains.
Made me realize that actually women are important, and that's the reason why I would like to apologize that my wife is not here with me. It is because she's expecting visitors at home. Whatever you thought. All right. There is something that makes all of us happy, especially Zambians, is to receive a message that starts with TXN. That one makes us happy even when we are stressed. We get too happy, and I want to believe that this will be the same for Zambia, because after the national team failed to win in their 2 games previously, there is a TX that is coming to this country, which we are about to witness this morning. Now allow me to invite, ladies and gentlemen, to the front, a representative from the WFP, and this is the country director for Zambia, Miss CC Kabasuga.
Honorable Minister of Finance, Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane, allow me to read on the protocols already observed by previous speakers. I'm greatly honored to be part of this symbolic payout ceremony for the 2023-2024 drought insurance. This initiative represents an innovative financing strategy for national governments and partners to safeguard the food security and livelihoods of vulnerable populations affected by weather events. With the support from donors, those present and those not present, the UN, through the World Food Programme, took out a NAC replica policy of $500,000 for the 2023-2024 season to complement our dedication to leverage innovative strategies to address food security and advance sustainable development goals. I would like to extend my appreciation to the government of Zambia, the Africa Risk Capacity Group, the African Development Bank, the Swiss Development Agency for Cooperation, and all partners involved for their relentless efforts in ensuring the financial preparedness and timely response to devastating impacts of the El Nino-induced drought in the 2023-2024 agricultural season. In conclusion, I would like to appeal to the government of Zambia through the Honorable Minister of Finance to consider increasing premiums to ensure a significant segment of vulnerable households are protected from the effects of climate change. Honorable Minister, I would also like to urge the Africa Risk Capacity Agency on behalf of the government of Zambia to consider customizing a product that will respond to floods, as the country has in the recent years also suffered from floods hazards. I thank you.
Thank you so much. And at this point, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite the ARC group representative, who happens to be the board chairperson, Dr. Anton Mataye Maroping. A big hand, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Program Director Bride Zingosi. Bride Zingosi. Thank you very much indeed. I know time is not on our side. You said we should accelerate, but please still allow me to salute Honorable Dr. Sintumbe Musokotwane, whom I must confess fate has made us to rub shoulders since 1980s. In the late 1980s, we keep on rubbing shoulders in one way or another. So he's very special to me. He's a brother, so I have to mention that. Yes, but also admire the ambassador of the Netherlands to Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Malawi, and recall that in the colonial days it used to be Northern Rhodesia, the Federation of Northern Rhodesia, Southern Rhodesia, and Nyasaland. So imagine Rhodesia in Africa. So it has been a long time in coming. So you are an empress in a large empire of Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Malawi, I must say. And all the excellencies there, I please recognize you. But please also allow me to recognize my senior team that is backing me up, Honorable Dr. Chance Kabaye, who adds a lot of value on the board with me. And we thank you very much for lending him to us, because he adds a lot of value. But I also have Madame Eva Vakuma and Kofi, Mr. Kofi, and Konin, not Kofi Annan, Konin, and then Hussein Mahdi and others equally very important. What a distinct honor and special privilege, and really a great pleasure it is for me to be afforded this rare opportunity to address the gathering so august and on this momentous occasion. It is a very noteworthy and significant event whereby the ACT group is going to make a symbolic payout check presentation to the government of the Republic of Zambia and the Replica partner, the Well Food Program for the drought insurance entitlement for 2023-2024 agriculture season. May I commend the authorities of the Republic of Zambia for their prudent earlier decision to collaborate with the ACT group, thus resulting in the payment of compensation totaling approximately 9.9 million to the Republic of Zambia and 3.3 million to the Replica partner, the Well Food Program, following the activation of the drought insurance product purchased by the Zambian government alongside WFP. You see the numbers, 9.9, 3.3, they rhyme. There you go, holy numbers. Excellencies, honorable ministers, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, let me take this opportunity to very briefly outline the mandate of your continental organization, the African Risk Capacity Group. The African Risk Capacity is a specialized agency of the African Union, was founded in 2012 to support African governments in enhancing their capacities to plan, prepare, and respond to extreme weather, to prepare for and respond to the extreme weather events, natural disasters, and dire consequential outbreaks and epidemics. Though collaborative and through collaborative and innovative financing solution, the ACT group enables countries to strengthen their disaster risk management systems and secure prompt, dependable financing in times of actual disasters, safeguarding the food security and livelihoods of their most vulnerable populations. The ACT group comprises two entities, the ACT Agency and the ACT Limited. The ACT Agency leads the political engagement, partnership initiatives, and capacity building work of the ACT mechanism, strengthening the ability of African governments to effectively combat extreme weather events and accompanying disease outbreaks. ACT Limited, the insurance arm of the group, handles risk pooling and risk transfer services. Our collective goal as a group is to enhance Africa's resilience by providing African Union member states with tailored services through diverse solutions to cover risks such as droughts, tropical cyclones, floods, and disease outbreaks that normally follow those other disasters, and to devise sustainable risk financing solutions. Today, 14th of June, just a day short, we convene again to showcase, to demonstrate ACT's intervention, a combined payout of 13.3 million. As they come to yet another more severe drought, and luckily after participating in the Ask Risk Pool for the 2023 to 2024 agricultural season. So this has been really an unprecedented drought in the recorded history of Zambia. ARC will continue to leverage its continental stature, expertise, and robust partnerships to bolster Zambia's readiness to respond to these threats using cutting-edge early warning tools. Needless to say, the same treatment will be accorded to other African member states. I wish to express our deep appreciation to the government of Zambia for their interest in the ARC mechanism and to congratulate WFP for taking up the first replica policy in Zambia, thus being able to provide an additional payout of 3.3 million to supplement the government's 9.9 million to aid the current El Niño response. Other humanitarian actors in Zambia are urged to learn from WFP and consider taking up additional replica policies to help the government in times like this. I am reliably informed that UNHCR, the former home of the Secretary General of the UN, he was the head of UNHCR before going to New York, in Geneva. He was in Geneva at that time. I understand that UNHCR have already submitted the request to be part of replica partners in Zambia, and our group hopes to hear more about this and from others in the very near future. The prevailing El Niño phenomenon has significantly impacted most of SADC member states, particularly our group active members such as Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Malawi, as well as Mozambique, the neighbors next door, prompting the declaration of national disasters. These nations have grappled with prolonged and extraordinarily severe drought conditions, adversely affecting agricultural production and jeopardizing food security, and shortages and soaring food prices, thus placing millions at risk of hunger and malnutrition. Additionally, reduced irrigation, hydroelectric power generation. This with all devastating ripple effects on the economy, which Honorable Musokotwane is overseeing. There are a lot of ripples to deal with. So, ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the ARC group was established by the heads of state and government of the African Union with a specific mission to assist governments in enhancing their capacity to plan and to respond to challenges posed by extreme weather and natural disasters. In their wisdom, they have recognized early the increasing frequency and innovative anticipatory action insurance product aimed at facilitating swift recovery from failed sowing during the agriculture season. Excellencies, Honorable Minister, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, allow me to take this opportunity to express deep gratitude to the partners and donors, which, as you have already seen, include SDC, African Development Bank, European Union, Canada, FCDO, KFW, US, and NORAD, the Netherlands, and Badia, and many more, for their ongoing financial support to ARC and its member states, including Zambia, through robust capacity building programs and subsidizing payment of insurance premiums, enhancing preparedness, as well as effective and timely response to disaster risks. So your compassion is really without doubt. With a sense of agency and great importance, I would like to call upon the authorities to finalize the ACT Treaty ratification for Zambia. We now know how critical ACT Group is in providing the tools and support needed to effectively manage and mitigate the devastating impacts of disasters. Ratifying the treaty not only ensures that Zambia continues to benefit from ACT's capacity building activities and insurance services, but also supports the sustainability and operational strength of ACT, an institution AU created in 2012. As you are aware, members must ratify the treaty by April 2025 or risk losing access to these invaluable services. Let us act swiftly and decisively, securing our participation in this essential initiative and fortifying our nation's resilience against the increasing threat of climate-related disasters. As Zambia receives compensation from the ACT Group for the second time, we must acknowledge the leadership role played by the Zambia government in supporting ACT Group work, demonstrating solidarity with the ACT mechanism. ACT Group commits firmly to collaborating closely to deliver improved services to more African governments. The ACT Group is ever aspiring for excellence. The ACT Group member countries are, along with others, vigorously pursuing implementation of Agenda 2063, Sustainable Development Goals. Even the African Development Bank Group, the High Fives, which are a subset of Agenda 2063, actually. And other global frameworks such as Vienna Program of Action for Landlocked Developing Countries and the Doha Program of Action for the Least Developed Countries. Extreme weather-caused disasters bring about serious setbacks in pursuing these frameworks. But with ACT Group interventions, there is some cushion, enabling a quick bounce back and making sure that this country stay the course in pursuing the objectives of those developmental frameworks. Lastly, but certainly not least, allow me to extend the ACT Group's sympathies to the government of the Republic of Zambia and its citizens for the closely adverse impacts of the El Niño-induced drought, severely affecting many farming communities. Although this payout may not fully cover or fully resolve the situation in totality, it will go some way towards significantly alleviating the suffering of vulnerable people out there. It serves as a reminder to collaboration with partners and invest further in the ACT mechanism by mobilizing resource building activities, premium financing, and increasing the uptake of the thing. So let us remain vigilant. Let's be on alert. Let's be prepared. I remember when we were little boys, we were in the scouting movement, and the motto was, be prepared. So worse is yet to come, we know, and God forbid. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you, Program Director.
My worry now is that Mr. Maroping rubs shoulders with the Honorable Minister, our guest of honor. And if the speech is this long, what more? Ladies and gentlemen, we are now almost at the moment we are here for. But now, allow me to invite DMMU National Coordinator, Dr. Gabriel Poleni, to come and invite our guest of honor to the podium.
Thank you. At this juncture, may I request that we be upstanding as I invite the Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning, Dr. Stembeko Musokotwane, to give us his keynote address. Honorable Minister, please sit.
Thank you very much indeed. I will try to, in fact, I have no choice to cut the statement because it's me who requested for time to deal with other issues. But of course, I cannot avoid recognizing the guests that we have here, those who have spoken this morning, all of you, and those who have not spoken, like Mr. Kavaye, and of course also the institutions that are very important for why we are gathered here today, but they are not represented in person. We are here this morning to graciously receive the check from the Africa Risk, what's the full name? Africa Risk Capacity. Is it a foundation or just ARC? Yeah, we are here very delighted at a time like this when we need this money desperately to be able to respond to the devastating drought that has engulfed our region and our country. The colleagues before me have described just how devastating this drought has been. It was characterized as the worst in 40 years. I'm 68, but I can't even remember a drought as terrible as this. So it has been very bad, putting so many lives at risk because many of them, they've lost all the food they expected to harvest this year, completely gone. And that, as if that was not enough, this has also pushed the price of food because obviously there's scarcity. So beyond the farmers themselves who have lost everything, many people, including here in urban areas, have become food insecure because the price of food has gone up tremendously. Beyond that, of course, even where grain sometimes is there, but one of the consequences of the drought has been the loss of hydroelectricity, which means that sometimes you've got a grain, but there's not enough electricity to grind or to mill that grain into the maize mill, which is the staple for this country. So this is really most devastating, and therefore we are very grateful when we receive helping hands like that from ARC. Let me explain a little bit, because some of the colleagues here may not have followed the technical language that sometimes is summarized in describing how this ARC works. ARC, which is giving us the money, is basically an insurance organization set up by African countries. And like every other insurance, you pay a premium. If you've insured your car, you pay a premium every year or quarter. And the purpose of that payment is that in the event that your car is stolen or it is involved in an accident or something like that, then the insurance company or the insurance institution gives you compensation so that you can get another car. So similarly, ARC is an insurance institution. Countries pay premium, risk, or rather we pay premium so that we sell that risk or we push the risk to ARC. So that if there's a drought like now, ARC will say, okay, the premiums that I collected, let me pay out in compensation to those countries that are affected. In fact, if you listened carefully, there are also moves have already been taken so that risk is not just seen in terms of drought, but also other calamities like flooding, excessive flooding. So this is what ARC is all about. Now, you've also heard that they are collaborative and supporting institutions. This is true, and it works this way. The first year when we received a payment, 5 million, Zambia, in fact, had not paid any premium, right? Zambia did not pay a premium. Who paid the premium? The cooperating partners that you heard being mentioned. They are the ones that paid the premium for us, and therefore that first payment, we received it even though the money did not come from our own pockets. This payment that we are receiving, I believe, did we pay something? Yes, I remember in the budget, we paid something. We're very glad to make that payment, and I'll come back to this point. But we did not pay everything. We still had support from cooperating partners. This is what has made it possible for us to get close to $13 million today. Going forward, I want to state that Zambia is very happy. It is our obligation to pay the premiums year after year in full. This obviously makes sense because it is us who are at risk. As you can see, the scheme works, it functions. When you are faced with a disaster, there's a payout. So we must be prepared, and we are ready going forward to pay the full premium so that we benefit in future. Obviously, there will be years when we'll pay, but there will be no drought. That is fine. That is fine. That's the way insurance works, isn't it? Yeah? That's the way insurance works, so we are happy to pay, knowing the well that on the day or in the year when we are faced with a drought, we are also going to receive payments. So, secondly, with respect to ARC, I want to say that we committed ourselves. We are going to be ambassadors of this scheme, talking to other member countries so that they also join. Because the more they are in an insurance scheme, the better for everybody, isn't it? You can imagine an insurance scheme for cars, and there are only two of you. There are only two of you who are customers. What it means that the amount of premiums you'll be paying will be very high. Okay? But the more there are of us in that scheme, the better. And therefore, we can work together with the Secretariat to ensure that when the African Ministers of Finance congregate together, such as the annual meetings of the World Bank, we can be the roving ambassadors for this scheme. Third thing I want to say is that the chairman, Dr. Maruping, and indeed we've known each other for many, many years, from the days of the lives in the central bank. He was governor of the Bank of Lesotho when I was deputy governor here, and of course other institutions. You talked about the need to ratify. I'm happy to say that Cabinet has already made the decision that we are going to ratify our membership. The process here is that Cabinet gives that decision, but we are still obliged to go to Parliament. So colleagues who deal with these things, make sure that the paperwork is prepared so that in this sitting of Parliament, which ends at the end of July, we get this matter sorted out. Now, with this assistance that we have received from ARC, obviously, it contributes to the response that we ought to make. But as several speakers have said, by itself, it's not enough. So something else has to happen to be able to sustain lives under these difficult times. So I want to thank the original program with a check of $188 million for that 6 months period until the next one. Drought, and our appeal to them, that amount has been increased from $188 million to put an extra $300 million on the table for that. Finally, of course, we are the ones that, as we say in my language, it is you who is sick in the stomach. So you too must do something to get yourself treated. So therefore, we as a government also, there are steps that we've taken to ensure that no human being dies out of starvation. We have said, I'm happy to report that in the last meeting of Cabinet, a supplementary budget has been approved that will put more extra resources in feeding the people and other response mechanisms. That supplementary budget will be presented to Parliament next Tuesday, so that members of Parliament, you know, they are the ones who can, it's only Parliament that can approve government spending and indeed taxes. So that supplementary budget will be presented to Parliament next Tuesday. That supplementary budget will recognize the extra money that they've come through, as I just described a few minutes ago. But on top of that, I'm sorry to say, we have agreed to make several big cuts in the original 2024 budget so that we save money that can go towards feeding the people and other response measures. So that is also our effort, recognizing that this is a lean period. Life cannot be normal. Life has to change. We have to make sacrifices so that we deal with the most hard situation that we are facing. So that is the sacrifice that the Zambians themselves are going to make to be able to feed themselves. As I conclude, therefore, first of all, I want to thank ARC. I want to thank the cooperating partners, all of them, and just to assure you that the support that you've provided is complementing. The support that you're providing is complementing the efforts that we, the Zambians ourselves, are going to make. Thank you so much for your attention.
So I'll ask you to stand just here, Doc, as I also invite the rest of the high table to come and join the guest of honor. I will also invite the ARC COO as Miss Eva to come and join this team here, as well as Miss Gloria from ARC Limited to also join the guest of honor. But we will also have Miss Conin Coffee to equally join the guest of honor. So what will happen now is that Michelle and the team will hand over the dummy checks of the money that is being represented here. So the order would be that we'll start with WFP to receive first. It says the higher you go, the cooler it becomes. So we start from lower and then we go upper and receive the minister will receive on behalf of the government. Ladies and gentlemen, this check of 3.3 million kwacha, $1 million. I'm used to kwacha. The guest of honor should upgrade me. Is going to the World Food Program. A big hand, ladies and gentlemen. When you begin to receive checks like this one, you are even elevated. You are no longer addressed in the category of all protocols observed. You are addressed by your name. And this is what happens. All right, that's for WFP. And the next one is obviously the bigger one, which is going to the government of the Republic of Zambia. And who is better placed to receive than the man in charge of finances in this country, Honorable Dr. Stumbeko Musokotwane. Ladies and gentlemen, the $10 million in response to the drought that the country has experienced in the 2023-2024 farming season, and obviously that goes a long way to alleviate the suffering of many Zambians, as Dr. Maroping did mention. Well over 9 million people that need this assistance, and this obviously is something to go by. So then, in the interest of time, the photos now will be taken right here. We will not go out. But as that is happening, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to announce to you that for your endurance, your patience, and support to this program, we have lunch prepared for all of us here this afternoon. As we'll be going out, we should be able to pick a coupon and head straight away to Kafiwe room in the new wing of Mulungushi International Conference Center. So those of you that are getting photos, I'm part of the photo session. You can do well to also capture me. All right. Then also allow me to let you know that there is a cocktail this evening that will be at Radisson Blue Hotel, which is just near here. The good news is that all of you present here are invited. The only thing that you need to know that you'll have to put in mind is that we will not provide transport, but we will provide everything needed for the cocktail this evening. The media, you are now allowed after this session to also conduct your interviews with the delegation here if you so wish. If you feel the information that has been presented is adequate for your bulletin, well and good. Otherwise, where my cousins come from, they say Mabon de cha de bois. That's to say Mabondo alasha alaga bois. And in Lozi, together with the guest of honor, we say Sesafeli Satolela. And so we will have to obviously say thank you to all of you for coming to this event. We appreciate your presence here. It would have not been possible, as you are aware that we are not miracle workers. We wouldn't have worked out miracles to have all of you come here, but you did come, and we do seriously appreciate this. Why can't we give ourselves a big round of applause for just being a lovely audience? Thank you so much. The media, it's up to you now, as we obviously are getting ready to release our guest of honor, who has requested that has to rush for other engagement. But please ensure that your lunch, you take your lunch here. The coupons will be given even as we go out this afternoon. Yeah, so the cocktail is starting at exactly 19 hours, which is 7 p.m. You will all be welcome at Radisson Blue Hotel to be part of us. It's open for all of us. Those of you that are also willing to come with your spouses, it is open for all of us. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. On behalf of the organizing team, my name is Bright Sinkos. Do have yourselves a lovely day. Thank you.